So, the FNAF movie trailer released recently, and it was freaking fantastic. I loved it. This movie looks like a really fun time, and I'm really excited to see it. It obviously doesn't look the scariest, but at the same time, I mean, the FNAF games aren't necessarily the scariest things in the world either. It looks fun, it feels on brand, and I really like the direction they're going with it, and I'm excited to see it. And while I was going to be working on my Foxy video all week, I did have a theory about this movie that I wanted to share with you guys, and I think I'm going to do that before I work on my Foxy video more, because I want to jump on this bandwagon while everybody's still talking about the trailer. And there's one aspect that I don't really see a lot of people discussing, and that's Vanessa.
Technically, they're animatronics.
We should be familiar with Vanessa as we know her from the games, but we don't quite know the same Vanessa that we're seeing in the movie. Vanessa is probably one of the weirder inclusions in this movie because, unlike all the other characters, in the game timeline, she comes from probably like 2030, but in this movie she's from the 90s. And furthermore, in the game timeline she's a mall security guard, while in the movie timeline she appears to be a police officer. And one of the most important things about Vanessa in the game timeline is that she's a villain. A reluctant villain, but a villain nonetheless. And I've had this thought in the back of my mind ever since Vanessa was originally casted for the movie, because in the very first photo that Jason Blum posted on the first day of filming, we can see a very interesting detail, a Vanny keychain on the thing. Now this could obviously just be a little thing they had on set, you know, I didn't really think it had too much weight to it. It's just like, hey, there's a little Vanny keychain there, that's kind of random, I wonder if that has any significance. Blumhouse will probably blah 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 blah. Now that I've seen a bit more of Vanessa in the movie, I'm becoming more and more skeptical of her. Is Vanessa really being a good guy, or is she being deceiving? Alright, let's start with this by going over the plot of the movie and what we know so far. Mike and his younger sister Abby are living alone together, and they don't have parents. And with Mike being an older brother who needs to take care of his little sister all by himself, he obviously needs a job, so he goes to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he's hired on by William Afton to be a security guard. And William Afton seems to be going by a fake name. So probably figuring that this old broken down pizzeria probably doesn't have much bad stuff in it, he takes his Abby with him because that's obviously easier than hiring a babysitter. So then Officer Vanessa shows up to tell Mike about what's went on in this pizzeria in the past for seemingly no reason. How did she know there was a new security guard here? How does she know about all this stuff that happened? It's completely unexplained. And then obviously the titular animatronic hijinks will ensue afterwards, but why is she here? Why is she telling Mike this? And why does she know this? Vanessa is sketchy in this trailer, and I'm gonna be honest, she sounds a little evil. Like, just how she introduces the idea of the animatronics being alive to Mike is so, like, creepy.
Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Them.
Just like, them. Why you gotta be so damn creepy? Then there's obviously well, technically they're animatronics, which, you know, she's obviously very in-tuned and obsessed with this place, possibly obsessed with its owner, but we'll talk about that later. Now, let's go back to talking about Abby. She has a very interesting relationship with the animatronics in this movie. Because while in the original teaser we do see her being hunted down by Freddy, Bonnie, and Foxy, and probably Chica too, but they didn't put her in frame because they hate her, it doesn't seem like she's too threatened by them in the rest of the parts of the trailer. We see her literally being buddies with Golden Freddy. In this scene, Foxy is seemingly being friendly with her and showing her the drawings. In any other times that we see her running away from something, it appears to be from Spring Bonnie, or at least it's implied to be, which, you know, yeah. To me, it even seems like the animatronics have told Abby that Spring Bonnie is bad, considering the drawings that Foxy's showing her depict that. So it seems like the animatronics are nice to Abby, but what Vanessa says about them directly contradicts this.
They won't.
They want to make her like them.
Abby!
And again, with talking all creepy, I don't get what Vanessa's deal is, but she sounds really sketchy, and honestly, I'm skeptical on what she's saying. Do they want to make her like them? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they do. I have a theory. A film theory, that Vanessa in the FNAF movie is not a good guy, and that she is in fact a bad guy. So now begs the question, why would she be a bad guy in this movie? Well, I have a theory. In this movie, we know of two villains right now. We know of William Afton, obviously, and then we have an unnamed villain, which we know absolutely nothing about. Now, I don't know who this character is, but I do have a slight way that I could tie her into my theory with Vanessa, so I'll probably just go with that for now until we learn a little bit more about her character, which we might not even learn anything else until the movie comes out, so I don't know. But why would Vanessa and William Afton be working together? So now Vanessa seems very knowledgeable about the pizzeria and what's happened there, and I think it's possible that William Afton might have potentially been the one to tell her this. Now whether she's being manipulated by him or she's idolizing a serial killer, we don't know. But what we do know is a good reason why Vanessa and William Afton would be working together. Or more accurately, why William Afton would want to work with Vanessa. She's a police officer. We already know he's going by a fake name, which means that the name William Afton is likely incriminated. He's gonna need some help not getting arrested, which, who would be the perfect person to prevent that? A cop. Vanessa can help keep William Afton off the radar, and I have a theory that this unnamed villain character, maybe it's another person at the police station involved in this whole scheme to keep William Afton under the radar. Considering she's not in any of the trailers, nor is she alluded to in the plot synopsis or anything, I don't think she's going to be too significant. So I'm just going to kind of push her aside for now. She might come up later in like a future theory if we learn more about the movie before it releases, but we'll see. So we have a reason for William Afton to want to work with a police officer. We have Vanessa, who is a little sketchy. And back to this Vanny keychain. Back when that was originally released, Blumhouse replied to somebody who pointed out the Vanny keychain with the eyeball emoji. Now, I'm not saying this means anything, but I'm saying it could mean something. If Vanessa is evil in this movie and she's working with William Afton, wouldn't you think that we might see Vanny in the movie? I mean, for how long this movie's script has been in the works, it's possible that the concept of Vanny's character originates from the movie before the games. That could easily be one of the big twists for this movie. Because again, Vanessa's inclusion in this movie is strange, and what she seems to be adding to the plot is even stranger. So I don't really think the idea of her being a twist villain is really off the table. Especially when we know William Afton has this whole hire security guards start a torture scheme thing going on. Attack people in his rabbit costume, maybe rabbit costumes in plural if Vanny's there. I think it would make a lot of sense for this to be an operation involving multiple people, and the perfect person to cover up this operation is someone who has control over the law and can literally just keep this off the radar. But I just wanted to share this theory because I thought it was really interesting to discuss all this weird stuff that's been going on around Vanessa. So yeah, let me know what you think of the theory, let me know what you think of the movie, because I think the movie looks really good. I want to know what you guys think of it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.